Okay, first of all, ladies and gentlemen, very welcome down to Shamrock Park tonight. On behalf of the chairman and board of directors of the club, delighted to have you. What we see as a very exciting night for the future of the club. We're absolutely delighted to name Niall Currie as new manager of Portadown Football Club. He's a local man. He has great affinity with the club. He stood in the terraces as a young boy, as many have did, and watched the glory days at Shamrock Park. We, as a board, are 100% behind him. We fully believe he's the right man to take the club forward, to take the club back to where it should be. And we're delighted to announce him as manager tonight. Now I'll hand over to you. I know you have a few words to say. After that, we'll have an open floor for any questions from the media. And then at the end, there'll be a chance for one-to-one interviews with Niall at that stage as well. I will stress we're here to talk about Niall's appointment tonight only as new manager. We'll not be taking questions on any other matters. So I'll hand over to you now. Thank you.
Thank you, Peter. Very proud, humbled, very excited. It was pinnacle for me, and I dreamt this here when I was starting out my managerial career. So 11, 12 years later, it's finally happened. So as I say, I'm very pleased that the board were very unanimous in regards to wanting me, and I think that's the main thing for me. You know, I was very comfortable in a very strong position at Ards and in a secure job. But as I say, your heart will always be your heart, and the chance to come home and manage a massive club like this here and try and get the good days back and the glory days back, and I'll give it absolutely everything I have.
As you say, you referred to it already, not the last anyway. Ards, obviously, you could have stayed there, a comfortable job. How strong is the passion for your hometown club? You're obviously a supporter, you just want them to be there.
I think you just hit the nail on the head. It's just, you know, it's your heart. It's all about your heart for me. That's the way. It's what I asked of my players. It's what I asked of myself, and it's what I asked of people around me. You know, commitment, desire, passion, and that's the three things that I certainly have for this club. And I've had them for a very long time, from I was a kid, and I'll stand on the terraces singing songs with a wee glass of Buckfast.
Early memories then. What about your first season here? What got the bug for you?
It's just the club. It's the town people. It's talking to them regularly, and then they're going through a tough time at the minute. There's not a lot of smiley faces about, and I'm determined that every club I've been at, I've made people smile, so I'm determined I'll make the town smile again.
Now, what's the priority? What's realistically, what do you think you can achieve?
The priority's doing our utmost to stay in the league. I think that has to be the priority. But I think, you know, the beauty of this town is that there's a lot of people realists, you know, and they understand the situation we're in. They understand that it's a massive ask for what we're going to give it a go here. But especially the transfer embargo, I think that's been the biggest hurt of everything. But I think that has to be our priority first and foremost, and we'll have you know, we'll look at all things after the season's over and stuff like that. But you know, the first focus for us and for all the coaching staff and for the players will be to make sure that every game we'll play, we'll leave it out there and make sure that I think supporters are normally in general always happy, regardless of results. Sometimes if they see your team bleeding and they see that the jerseys are soaked, and that's what I want from my players, and we got to make sure that the players have the same passion that they're going to get from me, and I think we can do that if everybody pulls together and has the same commitment and same belief that I certainly do. That's the main thing. We've got to make them believe again. The confidence will be low, obviously, the way things are going at the moment, but we got to lift them up. That's my job, you know. We've got to lift them up, make them believe again, and you know, try and put a smile on the town's face.
Realistically, are you already planning for the championship next season and come back up again?
Well, everything covered. You know, we spoke to the directors and stuff like that. Everything's covered. You know, worst case scenarios are covered with contingency plans. I have contingency plans in place, but we want to be positive about it. You know, we want to give it a real rattle and give it a real go. And as I said, you know, I think people have to realise even without the -12, I think Portadown still be bottom of the league. So we've got to make sure we start getting results. And you know, I still think there's a lot of good players in this club, a lot of senior players, and we'll be tapping into the senior players to make sure they can rally around and get the change rooms right. We need to get the change rooms right and get the morale lifted and get the spark back into the whole place.
Are you hoping to bring in some amateur players in January?
Yes, of course. We'll freshen things up in January. We're limited to what we can do. As I said, every signing you make in terms of an amateur player is it's going to be a wee bit of a gamble, and people have to understand that. But I'm quite confident we can get some good lads in and get them on board, and they'll improve the team and improve the squad for sure.
Peter, was this an appointment with the hope of staying up, but with next season in mind, given the fact that it's going to be very, very difficult to do that?
Both. First and foremost, as a board, we believe that Niall is the best man to keep us in this league. Should he do that? As he said, there's a mission. It's going to be a tough task, but all's not lost. He's a confident man, he's a right man, and if the worst was to happen, there's no doubt he's the best man to take us back to where we should be.
How do you rate your chances of staying up?
Well, you just heard from the manager, and I echo his comments that he's going to put his team out the way every week. And as he said himself, we'll take it week for week and see how close we can get. 2 or 3 wins, you don't know what's going to happen. If we get the performance and start to pick up points, we're confident we can still stay in this league.
Now you sort of alluded to the fact that confidence must be quite low at the minute given where you are at the table and so on. What do you hope to see from the players in your sort of in the weeks ahead? What kind of reaction do you hope to see from them?
Well, I certainly expect a positive reaction. As I said, one of the biggest strengths that I have, I think, is getting the best out of players, and I think we can do that again. I think when confidence is low, so it just depends. What I've got to do at the minute is go into the change rooms and find the characters, find what people need very quickly, get to know them very quickly, and know what each individual player needs and what kind of manager he needs, because there's a lot of strings to being a manager. Whether it's somebody needs a rocket, well, somebody needs a hug or a kiss, but I need to find that out very quickly from individual players, and I'll do that there. And as I say, we'll definitely achieve making sure we get every drop out of them, in my opinion. And they have to be on board. My appointment mightn't please everybody, but the bottom line is that it's about the club. It's not about me. It's about going out and representing the supporters. Because without the supporters, you've no club.
What work have you done so far now in this very short space of time, obviously, since you were told?
I haven't been allowed to do nothing. It's been like the worst kept secret in the world. But no, we'll take it tomorrow night. I've sat with Keith and Trevor there and had a good discussion for an hour. And
that's what I mean.
Yeah, where everybody's at, and as I say, we'll get a wee chat with the squad tomorrow night and let them know what our plans are. And the structures that we're trying to put in place, because it's important to have structure first and foremost, and we've got to make sure we get the right structures in place and make sure that we have every player buying into what we want and what we are expecting of them. And I think we can do that. I'm a lover, not a hater. I think if these boys come out and they represent the club properly and do well, they'll get plenty of love from me.
How do you feel sitting there with that tie on and all this?
Very excited, very proud. As I say, it's last 3 or 4 weeks has been, I haven't been able to do my post round, I've been, stopped every 15-20 minutes on the road, people shouting out the windows at me, but I'm very proud, and as I say, it took a hell of a lot for me to move from work, so I'm going to just make that clear. I had a wonderful time there, and I was back through thick and thin by a wonderful chairman, and hopefully I'll have the same backing from the board here, who were, as I say, fully behind me and everything that we'll talk about when we met. So exciting times ahead, and as I say, the time's just the icing on the cake for everything, and I'll work with great pride every Saturday.
Now, every club you've been at, you've gone in, you've had to rebuild, you've had to lift them up. That experience is obviously going to be crucial now for you.
It's a rebuild, but you don't get it. I wouldn't get this job if the club was going well. You know what I mean? So I think everybody knows that there's been too many dark clouds over the club for too long a period, and we want people talking about Portadown the way they used to talk about Portadown and how good Portadown were on the football pitch. No more talk about anything that's going on in the backgrounds. I want to focus on being a football manager, and I think we'll be able to do that. And as I say, as long as we get honesty, it's a rebuild, and the board know that. I know that. I'm coming here with my eyes wide open. But I believe I can do it. I've done it in every club I've been at so far, and certainly no intentions of failing here.
The team has been playing well defensively in midfield, but the strikers have been a bit weak. Have you any specific plans
Same as ours.
over Christmas to strengthen that? Have you eyes on a on your striker?
Probably Aizen, I would say at the minute, I'm very confident that we've got 2 deals done. Maybe a wee bit, I shouldn't have said that, but I'm very confident we've got 2 deals done and strengthen the squad straight away.
What were those names again now?
No, probably shouldn't have said the first bit, but no, as I say, you're dealing with amateurs, so
Sorry.
no, as I say,
What is the solid pattern? They played well for the 18, and after that they just...
but it is, it is what it is. Unfortunately, whenever you've got a transfer embargo on you, every team needs the top strikers. I was in the same situation down at ours. We couldn't afford what they need. We couldn't afford to get them top players in that have that cutting edge that win you games out of nothing.
It's even trickier now.
It's even much trickier, but we'll try and pull something out of the hat. We've got irons in the fire. You're dealing in a situation when you're trying to get amateurs in. You're dealing with certain situations where you're looking at potential. Can they kick on to a new level? But you can also pick up there's 2 or 3 amateur players that have gone on and have very successful Irish League careers, and that's what we're trying to do. The structure's in place. I've spoke to Peter and Romy, and we're looking to we have a scout out in the scene right now, trying to have a look around all over the country to see if we can pick a wee diamond up, and because we're going to need that. There's no doubt about that. The last third of the pitch is vital because the nucleus of the squad is fantastic. You've got some great defenders, you've got some great midfielders. I think we need to inject a wee bit of pace in the last third of the pitch, and that's what we'll be looking to do.
Now the club is rightly proud of building up the structures right down the line, the young ones. Will you be continuing this, encouraging local young talent coming through?
Well, we have, and I've spoke to the right people. From what I can gather, from what I'm being told, the youth setup here is excellent, and I think there's 5 or 6 internationals floating around at the moment. I think it's vital for us. We're probably going to be in a situation where you'll always have. It's always going to be very difficult. You can't keep on pouring money. You've got to look at a bigger picture and that. So I think the youth's vital. I'll top into now that I'm 3 minutes away from Brownstown Park. I'll be able to go down and see plenty of the kids floating around, and I'm intending to do that. As I say, we'll do that. We'll speak to all the coaches at the youth level. We'll get a good insight, because if they're around the 17, 18 years of age, I would like them to train with the first team. I think I don't see why not. If they're good enough, they're old enough. So if they get around the 17, 18 years of age, I think they can train with the first team, and it'll only help them as a player as well.
Now obviously you and Jay have worked together now for over a decade. You've got a tried and trusted way of working. Both of you know exactly what you can count Niall on for. Again, is that sort of familiarity going to be important coming in to hit the ground running? You need to get something in place quickly that players can buy into and hopefully get immediate results.
I think you surround yourself with things that you're not so good at. You surround yourself with somebody who is very good at it, and I know my strengths. I know Jay's strengths, I know Trevor's strengths, so it's about an accumulation of the perfect snowball, if you know what I mean, in regards to the right combinations and what different people bring to the table, so if we get the blend right, we still do plan on bringing another part of the staff in, so we get the blend right, and trust's the main thing as well. You gotta be able to have people around you that you trust, and he's been with me now 12 torturous years, so he obviously knows that I have a big, not only a big friendship with him, but a big respect for him as a coach. And he's also tapped in. He's a head coach of the County Armagh under 17 teams in the Milk Cup. So it's another wonderful. The number of players that man's recommended to me that we couldn't get down the north, surely through the travelling issue. But there are now quite a few of them sitting there for Glenavon's first team. So we've missed the boat in quite a few youngsters, but that man now, I think the lure poured down can be a wee bit of strong now, so we can go toe to toe with the likes of a Glenavon and the County Armagh setup and get them here.
And you talked about Trevor there. Obviously, you're working together for the first time, but you guys all know each other for a long time from you were kids. So again, that respect and the trust and the know-how is all there.
100%. You know, the bottom line is that Trevor's a massive Portadown supporter, you know, and that's, but not only that there, he's an LA's coach, his coaching is fantastic, I've seen it on many occasions. His knowledge of situations, I like, you know, and I've always liked him, and the intention was whenever I came in here, that he would stay straight away. So, as I said to you, he'll have his role, Jay'll have his role, and we'll get another guy in a specific role that we want him to do as well. So, we'll get the blend right, and as I say, we'll go with the four of us and be it on our own head, but it'll work.
An easy start then on Saturday.
It's always easy, you know. I think that's what this league's about, you know. It's a tough league, and it's the kind of league you can go on, you know, you can go on losing runs, and I can understand the situation Portadown's in at the minute, you know, and it's because I was going through it myself by Ards, I'm perfectly honest about it, you know. There's a small squad here, and it was the same down at Ards as well. You know, once you lose 2 or 3 of your big players, you hurt, and what we've got to do and make sure we do come January time is bulk the squad out so that we don't hurt as much, you know, and make sure that anybody's missing, we're covered in certain areas with guys that are on the same level.
Now, obviously, you've already managed against Portadown twice this season. What have you seen in that Portadown squad that you like, that you think you can build on?
I think the Spain's, you know, the Spain's as good as a lot of teams in the league. I think when you look at some of the experienced players, you look at their Breens and Omans and O'Hara's and you know, Hendersons and Mackles and Garrett's and Mark McAllister's of the world as well. That can only be a strong basis to start, and that's what I plan to do. You know, I plan to look at the. I think we're going to need luck. We're going to need all our big players playing regularly and playing every week and not getting injured and not getting suspended. But if we get our big players out every week, we'll be very competitive with everybody. I've no doubts about that, because there's quality and experience there. You know, what we've got to do now is make sure we've got leadership and desire and passion comes along with that there, because the quality's there in my opinion. But we need a wee bit of luck. There's no doubt about that with such a small squad. But fingers crossed we can get them all out at the right time.
Do you hope to bring Mark McAllister back in to the squad?
Mark will come straight back in. He'll be a training tomorrow night.
One important question. Are you going to beat Glenelg on Boxing Day?
I bet the money then.
It's a big day. Been to many and watched many of myself when I was a youngster, so I realise how big it is. And the one thing that I'd say this, the one thing that Portadown supporters can guarantee for me is that they'll get every drop. And that's the battle. I can only do my best, and I think I'm good, but it's up to me now to prove it to the supporters. And the supporters know that where my heart is. They know that I'm going to give it everything. So I'll have everything out on the table, and you'll take your hits and you'll take your wins. But the one thing that they'll know is that I give it everything, no matter what.
Now, would this be as challenging a job as taking on Ards, who having to their own grind and and that sort of thing?
Well, whenever I took Ards on, Ards were sitting lower part of Championship 1. And the work going nowhere. It hadn't been anywhere the previous 5 years. I'd done nothing, so it was a massive job as well. And but this is a massive job too. But it's a massive job that if it goes right, and we think it can go right, it's a massive job if it goes right. You turn this club around, then you can have thousands sitting in the stands. Get the club back to get the thousands through the doors. You know, the bottom line was this. I remember big, massive crowds. This town can bring big crowds. And what we've got to do is get a smile on their face, let them know that every time they come through the doors of Shamrock Park, they're going to get honesty, and they're going to get endeavour, and they're going to get all them things. And I think we can get the supporters back. I think that's the main thing for me. The main thing is the potential here, the potential to turn things around. Might be a long road, don't know, but we'll give it everything we have. But if it is a long road, we can't do it without the supporters. And believe me, we know how important it is to them. So the main thing for me is to get them back and get them through the doors again and get them enjoying it, and at least having a bit of passion about the place again, and let's hear some songs from them.
Just going back to Mark McAllister, I suppose it's the same with every player. They all start with a clean slate with you. you know, you want that, you mentioned that one-to-one discussion you're going to have. It's about, you know, getting out of them what you need, and everybody's got that chance to prove themselves.
Absolutely. I don't think we're in a situation, I don't think we're in a position to rule one of the best strikers in the Irish League out of our squad. Simple as that. And I know Mark, and Mark knows me, and he's a clean slate. He's too good. You know what we've got to focus on is getting Mark McAllister fit, getting him sharp, and getting him playing. And if you can bring that to the table, Mark McAllister brings a hell of a lot to the table to pour down.
You've had positive chat with them, or positive talks with them, yeah?
Yeah, all good. Darn, it's I've spoke to him, and he's taxed actually. I'm not going to tell any lies. Wasn't allowed to talk to him yet, you know. So, but, no, he's looking forward to playing under me, and he's looking forward to getting himself fit.
Who's a motivated Mark McAllister?
Without a doubt, 100%, and that's what it's about. You know, what it's about now is making sure we get him with a smile on his face, enjoying his football again. And I think, you know, all footballers are at their best when they're enjoying it. So we don't want no doom and gloom, no negativity around the place anymore. Everything we want's going. Well, I want a positive change room, and I hate negativity around it. And as I say, I want to make sure that no matter what, because there'll be ups and downs, there'll be roller coaster rides here. You know, we're not going to win every game. We'll have to be honest about that. But what we can do is make sure that everything's given, and make sure that we stay positive. You know, we've got to go in first and foremost and lift everybody, and lift the morale, and lift the confidence, and make them believe again. And you know, I think we can do that.
Now, can I ask you how long your contract is for, the initial contract?
6 years.
29 years.
I think we're 18 months on a year's extension.
Okay.
Is that right? Will that be right, Mr.
That's it.
Oliver? Thank you. Couldn't remember, I thought it was 3.
Months? Sorry, I was going to say, it's important you get sort of the time and patience to maybe implement a long-term plan. I know you want short-term bounce and so on, but it might take a period of time to get this club back to where it needs to be.
Yeah, I would agree with you. You know, what we've got to do initially is give it our all to try and stay in the league. But you know, if it is long term, and it is a championship season, you know, it's very, very important we'll have the structures in place that we'll want to kick on and get the club back at the top end and get into European football in the Premier League and stuff like that again. You know, not going back into the Premier League and struggling in the Premier League. This club is too big to struggle in the Premier League. But people's got to realise that, you know, the history of this club and the success this club's had, it's a massive club. Make no bones about that. And you know, we've got to get the club back into Europe and playing European football. You know, and that has to be the target, and challenging for leagues. You know, ultimately, you know, this club's big enough to challenge for leagues. It was been proved before, and it'll be proved again, hopefully.
Piero's in terms of the agreement with ours that released that.
We have the greatest respect for Ards as a football club, so I think it would be wrong for me to comment on Ards, another club. That's between Niall and Ards. He came to us, they haven't been released from Ards, and we dealt directly with Niall, so I'm not going to speak for Ards.